Welcome back, everybody, to Reading Rainbow with Doc. I'm kidding. What I wanted to talk about in this video is something that is going to be rather polarizing. Marvel was in really, really bad shape in 1995, 96, almost declaring bankruptcy at one point. Actually, they were in bankruptcy, but they came out, thankfully, and we still get to get these wonderful comics that we know and we love. But part of their strategy, part of their plan to pull themselves back out involved bringing in two of the image creators that had run off only about 4 years prior. And we have Rob Liefeld and Captain America #1. Written by Rob Liefeld, well, co-written by Rob Liefeld, and written by Jeph Loeb. You get the image quality artwork, the image quality colors, you get giant Cap with his giant chest. You get all of these tropes. And unfortunately, as a 14-year-old boy, I didn't appreciate Jim Lee's art for what it was at that time. I thought it was too static. It looked great. The figure work was amazing. But I didn't like it as much as I liked the energy that Rob brought to this book. Now, I, along with everybody else, hated that they removed the star and they put this winged victory type of thing going on there. But overall, I thought this was a really solid issue as far as story-wise. Now, Rob, once again, pulled a Rob and did all sorts of things wonky. For example, let's see, where's it at? Let's see. For example, Cap is not supposed to be 17 feet tall versus Sam Wilson here, who's holding his shield, who looks like he's about 3 feet tall. But you get a modern reimagining of Cap. Now, I have to say, one thing I love about Rob is that he apparently does respect his elders. He respects Stan. He respects Jack for what he did. And here, he respects Jack Kirby by not giving him tattoos on his face, not going absolutely wild. But instead, he just brought the story of Cap into a more modern sphere. It still has the aspect of a man out of time. You know, Sam surprises him with his shield, which he thought was just, he thought he was having dreams and that they weren't real. He couldn't, you know, as a early 30s man, he couldn't understand why he was having dreams of World War II. He said, I was not in World War II. It's impossible that I was in World War II. So where are these dreams coming from? But at the same time, just like before, you still have the Nazi threat, and I won't keep that up very long so that I don't get pulled down for having that symbol on my page. But it's just the energy that he brought to this book that you can't beat. And I'm going to talk about Iron Man #1 with Will Portatio on the art. I'm going to talk about the Avengers #1. And I'm going to talk about Fantastic Four #1, where all of the main titles, mainstream characters, besides Spider-Man and the X-Men, got rebooted with #1s. They were brought into the fold and they were updated, and they were given this modern artwork that absolutely made it pop. And say what you will about Uncle Rob. Say what you will about that he can't draw feet, that, say what you will. But at the end of the day, this Rob Liefeld respects characters, he respects history, he respects the legacy that comes with these characters, and he brings all of that with his A game, in my opinion, to this storyline. You get a double-page spread. If Rob really wasn't trying, if he was just trying to cash in, you don't spend the time to do double-page spreads. You don't spend the time to go above and beyond and over and out. You get all of this amazing heart and story. And part of that might be from Jeph Loeb. It might not even be from Rob. But Rob's artwork, like I said, shows an honest appreciation and an honest respect for the men that came before him. And that's something that you don't always see in modern comics. They sometimes artists love the character, but they don't love some of the people that have worked on the character previously. Whether it be political reasons, whether it's age, whether it's sexism, whether it's whatever. They don't care for the previous creators that came before. Rob wanted to give this Cap, number one, as a love letter. Because, unfortunately, the king had already passed on at this point, 2 years prior. But he wanted Marvel and the fans to know that he loved Captain America. Because, like I said, he could have phoned it in. And some people will say that he did. But based on the level of artwork and the level of commitment that it took, at least in this first issue, it shows how important Marvel history was to Rob, and still is. Still is. I'm not going to say anything bad about Rob. He can be petty sometimes, but you know what? Everybody in human society can be petty sometimes. Was he upset because he felt that he was snubbed at a Marvel premiere? Yeah, and rightly so, I would say. Now, have all of his responses been unchildish? No. But I love this book. And I love the story that it brings to the Heroes Reborn universe. It kicks off all of this with the red, white, and blue. It kicks it off with the shield. I can't say the same thing about Chip Zdarsky and Valerio's book. You don't get that same sense of honor, of grace, of wanting to respect those that came before you. It would be like putting somebody who couldn't draw more than a stick figure on a Sergeant Rock book for DC. No, you don't do that. You put Dan Jurgens on a Sergeant Rock book. You put Jerry Ordway on a Sergeant Rock book. You put some of your classic yet still powerhouse artists. You put Alex Ross on a Sergeant Rock book. That's why you put Rob Liefeld on here, because he was a powerhouse and he still is. He's lost a little bit of it, but we've all lost a little bit of it. I'm not as fast or as agile as I was when I was 20. So Rob's pencils don't have to be as tight as they used to be at 20. And if we're going to talk about Jim Lee, let's not talk about tightness of pencils. Let's not do that. Anyway, guys, love this book. If you never read it in 1996, please go find it. It's dirt cheap, but it's fun. It's bombastic. It's energetic. It's kinetic. It's all these things. All these things put together, and it's one really awesome book. Now, Rob only stayed on the title for 6 issues before he was replaced by Jim Lee's crew because they said that Rob's books weren't selling as well as Jim's were. But we'll get into that later. So for right now, go catch this book. Go find this book. Go enjoy the heck out of it, and let me know what you think. If you did read it back in the day and you're an older reader like I am, let me know what you thought about Heroes Reborn. Let me know your thoughts specifically on Cap #1 here. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me again. We got some more great videos coming up for you, so just hold tight.